So what advice can you give the AV industry about digital transformation, bro? I mean, you're the expert in the stuff.
You're taking it too far, but yes. I mean, digital transformation is something which is an ongoing one. It's nothing that, the market reach it up. Because it's all about, not about the technology, it's about the consumer behavior, it's about what is happening with it within the market. And this is an ongoing transformation. Now, in the past, innovation and transformation were created by maybe corporate, by companies that brought technology or processes to the industry. Today, things with this digital transformation is coming from the market, from the consumer. Now, like in the IT industry, this is something that the market needs to look very, very carefully about the market and the consumer behavior and the consumption model and the business model that are developed. Because traditional markets, traditional suppliers, traditional things are going to be changed. And these changes are going to be followed by different environment, different competitive environment, which is not a traditional one. So you need to look at it from different aspects, from the markets, from the technology trends, and from the competitive situation. Now, speaking about the AV industry, a lot about that is speaking about AV becoming close to the IT. But we have to remember that the IT is changing and changing maybe in more rapid pace. So where we thought the IT is no longer there anymore, because organization, mainly speaking about organization, are transforming a lot. They are moving to the cloud. They are handling security. They are handling automation. They are handling different type of things which are totally different. So when we are saying AV is moving to the IT, the AV need to remember that the IT is running very, very fast, and we should be there with our solution. So our approach to the market is going to be the one that will address properly the automation, the control, and all the system doing that with the right level of security relevant to the different markets. Because there is a huge potential in this digital world, also to the AV market, but it needs to be addressed with the relevant solution that will work properly with this big environment.
So we're forcing the attention much more onto the infrastructure side of it than we are the application end.
For sure.
Or rather two together. We're discussing ecosystems and how they're built up. Because the AV industry lacks this interoperability element that the IT industry has long observed and enjoyed.
Exactly.
We don't have that sort of thing. So it's thinking in terms of environments and systems that are much bigger than the individual technologies. That it's a big leap for the AV industry to think
Exactly.
that.
It's not a closed environment, which is, you can call it an AV. It's now combined with other things, with other ecosystem. And when we are speaking today about approaching the AV market, we're definitely going to connect it to a wider ecosystem, which is not only the switching or the different elements that we have, point product that we have, or even solution. It's not going to be the only AV closed environment that we were developing and maybe delivering. It should be strongly attached and connected to the wider environment. Even if it is an idle places or meeting room or thousands of meeting rooms, you need to manage them in a proper way that it will provide the automation, the utilization. In a big enterprise, you need to know the usage of the different infrastructure that you have by the consumption or by the different accounting that you would like to address for different units. So all those environments, all these big environments, which needs to be in the right level of security and automation, need to be controlled in a proper way that it will provide for those big assets of big enterprises. And this is where we're going.
Who's going to be managing this internally in client companies? I've always maintained that potentially CIO has a great role in all this. But we think, well, AV needs to build up its service manager, has an ITIL equivalent qualification that brings itself up to the IT level. I'm not sure which end is going to gain the ascendancy here. I'm seeing some CIOs creeping into this.
So the job of the CIO within an organization is changing. And speak about that before the AV getting into that. CIOs today addressing not the traditional data centers. It's not there anymore. The shadow IT and the wider environment that they need to manage, getting applications, SaaS, from different providers. Salesforce, that is coming from one provider. servers that maybe they are getting from Amazon or Google or whatever, Microsoft from the cloud. So those kind of environment are no more the traditional IT. So the job of the CIO is today about the internal infrastructure, but also with the wider scope of shadow IT that are already there. And definitely the AV, since it's going to be very much connected to the internet, to the Ethernet of the organization, will need to be managed properly with these additional challenges of the CIO. So it's a big job today, but definitely it will be under the responsibility of the CIO.
But that's the quandary, isn't it? Where our skills, where we got the skills to be able to exploit this internally that will lead us to an infrastructure which can benefit from services. That's not in at the moment, is it really? And the expertise in the industry isn't there to provide it.
Yeah. So first of all, I mean, the guys that are dealing with the AV will need to extend or to expand their scope. They will not be able to stay where they were, handling with the microphone or whatever was working or not working in the meeting room. This is not enough, because as soon as this system is connected to the network of the organization and different solution from the organization, there is a need to expand or to enlarge the knowledge or handling with security. So we are showing here multiple layers of security that we are providing in our portfolio. This is something that will need to be handled properly with our installer. They need to know how to do that. This wireless solution that we are offering needs to be controlled with those guys. So this is from the AV market, but also the IT will need to understand what they are responsible for. Exactly like I said before about applications that are provided from the outside, but this is under their responsibility. I mean, the opportunity of using that, or on the other hand, the risk of managing that from the outside, getting those services from the outside, those are the two ends of this equation, the upside and maybe the risk that you need to manage converge together. So this is the same also on the AV market. So yes, the AV market guys will need to expand their knowledge and to expand their expertise in those areas, but also the CIO will need to take full responsibility for that, because no one else will take it.
No, how's the traditional IT environment, as you say, fast changing?
Yeah.
Looking at the AV environment from the outside, you're coming from IT, I've been IT.
Yeah.
Well, I look upon AV very differently than if I was a pure AV guy.
Right.
I'm sure you do the same. We bring different perceptions and knowledge to the thing.
Exactly.
I mean, what do you think about the AV industry at the moment? I mean, how far do you think it's come and how far do you think it needs to go?
I think the next generation of the AV, listen, the big challenge of the IT market today is about the big data. I mean, there is tons of data that is there. Now, the majority of the data is the unstructured data. It's not the traditional, structured data. So the big growth is there, and the analytics that you can put there is there. Now, speaking about the AV market, which brings those, capacity of data, which is maybe not relevant, but part of it definitely is relevant. So combining them two together could create a huge benefit for the organization. And some of the solutions that we are speaking about are going to this direction, saying how we can better address this data, aside from using audio and video for the purpose of the traditional audio and video, but probably for the near future, we will address that in a proper way from the IT, using some of this data, what is relevant for this, business value for the organization or business aspects for the organization. So this is a different angle for this same industry, which is the AV industry, traditionally, built for those traditional, maybe 4 decades ago, simply making meeting rooms, but taking that forward with whatever we can do with that could be an additional benefit for the organization. Okay, so this is a new dimension for the AV, but it's there.